Hey everybody, this is Dream, and today we have a nice little 7 game NBA slate. This slate is kind of rough, to be honest. There's a lot of questionable tags, and pricing is a little bit wonky. Also, a lot of guys on new teams, so we'll have to wait and see how those guys play on their new teams. But let's go and get into the injury report today. For the Bulls, Levine and Williams are out. For the 76ers, Maxey is questionable. Embiid, Melton, Batum, and Covington are out. For the Wizards, Holmes is questionable. For the Grizzlies, Rose is questionable, and Morant, Bane, and Smart are out. For the Hornets, Grant Williams and Mann are both questionable. Ball is doubtful, and Williams is out. For the Rockets, Whitmore is questionable, and Van Vliet and Eason are out. For the Hawks, Murray is questionable, Hunter is questionable, and also Capella being out. For the Pacers, Halliburton is questionable, and Smith is questionable. For the Knicks, Brunson and Sims are questionable. Randall, OG, Robinson, and Hartenstein are all out. And for the Raptors, Olenek is questionable. And for the Warriors, Chris Paul is out. So this slate does feature all the games 7 to 8:30. We do have some plays I do like. I didn't really like anybody as a core play because the cheaper options are risky and the good options are a little bit overpriced. So I will kind of break these down. I think these are my top 5 favorites on the slate, at least at this point. Uh, Buddy Hield, now he's only played 1 game with Philly, but he played very well in his first game. He played 40 minutes. If Maxey were to miss, that would definitely boost him here. But he definitely carries that low floor, so do keep that in mind. But he's definitely worth a look on the slate. I also like Jabari Smith for Houston. He's got a favorable matchup here against Atlanta, and with Capella out defensively, Atlanta's going to be even weaker, which they've been pretty bad all season. He's a little bit underpriced today, so he's definitely a viable option. Again, he does have a low floor that he's had a couple games, but I think his minutes will be in the mid 30s today, so I do think he has some potential. Looking at Vince Williams for Memphis, he's played very well and consistent lately. He's the closest thing to a core play I could find on the slate, but he doesn't really have the super high ceiling in this matchup, even though it is an easy matchup. Uh, he has been over 5x in 11 of the 12 games as of late, though. Then we're going to look at Cameron Payne for Philly. He should draw the start if Maxey were to miss. We do want to make sure Maxey gets ruled out before using him today, but as he is on his new team as well. But he played 36 minutes yesterday against Atlanta. I'd expect a similar game fantasy-wise if Maxey gets ruled out. Aaron Holiday for Houston is also going to get more minutes with all the injuries and stuff to their team. He's also pretty cheap. He does have that super low floor, but he has a decent ceiling for the price, so he's definitely worth a look on the slate. Looking at some guys that I consider to be GPP exclusive are Amin Thompson. He's played very well with Van Vliet out. I look for that to continue, but his price has come up a lot, and his ceiling, while it's high, he does have a pretty mid-level average, and I don't expect him to get to 5x every day at this price point. So he's not a must-play, but he's definitely somebody to consider. Tyus Jones for Washington. Looks like he might have a really good situation here with Washington now, as he should get more usage. I also think this matchup, especially if Maxey gets ruled out, would be a nice little boost for him. Though we do have to make sure that Maxey were to miss. Kyle Kuzma has a lot of potential in this matchup against a somewhat weak defense from Philly in a game that normally would be tough with Embiid, but without Embiid, he should have an advantage here. He's had some good ceiling games lately, and so he's simply worth a look, though he is inconsistent, and he has had some low games as well, but this matchup should be pretty good with the Embiid out. Then we'll look at Red for Philly, the center. Now he's played a lot of minutes last few games due to Embiid being out. His ceiling is not very high, uh, and his floor is really low, so he's a concerning player. But he's somebody who can have big games occasionally. Bamba for them is also in play, but very risky. Then we'll look at Atlanta here, and Trae Young. If Murray were to miss, he would become a core play for me and be in my starting lineup. But he definitely carries some risk if he's not in that. If Murray does play, Kongwu uh, for Atlanta is also in play today, and he's got a pretty favorable matchup here with Capella out. He's had a pretty good ceiling the last couple games as well. I expect him to play 35 minutes in this one and have a really good opportunity to have a big game.
His floor is a little lower than I like, so that's why he's not a core play today. Same goes for Bay for Atlanta. He's played very well the last couple weeks. His price is a little bit high for his potential here, but with Capella out, the minutes are going to go to the big guys, and he's going to have a lot of opportunity to have a solid game here. So, with that said, thank you guys for liking, commenting, subscribing. If you have any comments or questions, feel free to leave them below, and have a nice day, guys.